where you can do all those things and so much more. Just grab a seat in the chair or the floor. Sit back, relax, recline. While she drops another casual line. You're tuned into Casually Molly with Molly and Bergie.
Okay.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Casually Molly podcast. As you know, I am your host, Molly Ambergy. Remember, you can always casually subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, we're on YouTube. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Hey! But speaking of hey, give it up for my friend, the real STL comedian, Yolanda Mizzunderstood Brown. Hey!
And the crowd goes wild.
And the crowd, right?
Yes.
Oh, see, I say that too. That's why we're friends. We're going to do a cheers again because everybody else missed us doing it. But we've got some sparkling rosé. And then
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. I know, my mom actually sent this to me for the episode, so thank you, Mom. And while we're sitting here, I have got a cup that Yolanda made me. It says Fearless because I am, for those of you who are WWE fans, I'm a big fan of Nikki Bella and her motto of being fearless. And this lady over here made it for me. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your creation before we get into everything about Yolanda?
I did. Okay. Well, how I started actually making glasses was because I'm going to give you the real tea because I don't know how to give it to you no other way.
All right.
So, I like to go to these little spots. They call hole in the walls. And at one particular time, I was in them so much and I was spending all my money. Like I was going through little life traumatizing, little whatever. And I used to go out and have a drink at the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there and I was like, I am literally spending all my money in this place. It has to be a way in here, a way that I can make money and stop spending all my money. And I came up, I looked on the wall and somebody had made a glass and I was like, I can do better than that. And actually your glass is about how many years old?
It's been a while.
Her glass is like, it looks good. Look, this glass is like, it gotta be like 5 years old or something. So as you can see, they don't lose they bling blingation. And this one was actually rolling around in my car. So
It's gorgeous.
I was like,
Look
dang,
at
I forgot my glass.
Yes.
You know, so I was like, let me just come up with something. I'm a very crafty person. I came up with the idea to make boy glasses, and they do very well.
Yes, they
For
do.
birthdays, weddings, bar mitzvahs, baby daddy get out of jail, whatever your occasion. Whatever your occasion, I got you. Baby daddy go to jail.
Whichever you really want to celebrate, this one's got you covered, okay?
I got you. I got you. Just tell me what color you like and what you wanted to say. Bye-bye, baby daddy, or whatever, and I got you.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to hit you. Whenever I do have to say goodbye to somebody, like whether it's just a person, a job, I think that's the occasion I'm going to hit you up for my new. I've been saying, because I've told Yolanda, I was like, I think I need to get another one because this one's been around for a while. So now I know the occasion.
And my designs are different now. That was my, you know, before I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? And I got the fat letters and everything.
I love it, but this is very
cute.
Me. Like people who know me know I love to scrapbook, and so I have big letters like this on literally everything. Yeah. So it would make sense for me to have a red sparkly glass with letters on it, and especially with Nikki Bella's theme.
Right.
But yes, and what's the business called?
Miss Me Creations. You can Google it or nothing's gonna pop up, but you can Google it and you know, you can go on my page and send me an inbox, and that's the quickest way to get to me. You know, you having a birthday, like I said, I got you. And also they come in sets. When you get a set, you get the big glass with a shot glass.
Oh, well now I know what I'm gonna be getting. I need a shot glass.
Yep, the big boy with the shot glass.
I love
For
it.
all my drunk friends, you know. That feel me. Yeah, me too. I love to drink.
Yeah. What's your favorite drink? What do you like to drink?
Well, it used to be tequila.
Okay.
Until I figured out that tequila was turning me to a crazy Mexican chick, and I was clowning, acting a fool. So I had to take a realistic look at myself and say, tequila might not be the best thing you need to drink unless you want to be in jail or beat up or something like that. So now I drink wine with a shot of tequila.
Okay, hey, you're kind of mixing it up.
Wine with a shot because I'm not ready to let it go quite yet.
Yes.
But I drink wine with a little, where you just take it and say, ooh.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, that's it. Woo.
Oh
right
my
on
gosh.
top.
You're so funny.
Yep.
And let's see, so just kind of give a background on Yolanda. How long have you been doing comedy?
Off and on forever. Probably about off and on for 10 years.
Okay.
And when I say off and on, like I might get a boyfriend, he jealous, and he'll pull me out, and I was stupid enough to go. Or kids start clowning in school.
Yeah.
I have to stop. Just life situations. It's never been consecutive year after year after year.
But isn't it amazing that comedy is always there when you're going through life anyway? Like, even when you have things that, like, take you away from it or you're doing something, it's always there, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
if you have a love for it, it's going to continue to nag at you until you feed it. So it's definitely something you have to love in order to endure the trials and tribulations of comedy.
yes.
I have to drink to that.
Well, yeah, like, when I first started doing comedy, Yolanda, actually, we just talked about this on her show. We'll get into how we met in a second, but Real STL Comedians, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I got to be on for the New Year's edition.
You did.
Yay, we just
had
need that
fun.
silly string.
We had so much fun. That's one of my favorite shows.
It's one of my favorite shows, too.
But how my producer and I came up with Real STL Comedians is because I literally got tired of people saying, "Oh my God, you're a comedian. Tell me something funny." When I'm having a bad day or something.
Yes.
And they just expect you to be on. And it's like, I am a person first. I'm a person first. So I said, you know, we have to come up with something where these people can get the behind the scenes us to know that we're people first. We have everyday issues, children's, baby dad, no.
Yeah. Baby dad's going to jail.
Yeah. We just regular people, so don't expect me to always be on. But that doesn't mean I'm not funny. That doesn't mean I'm not a comedian. And I always see people like, oh my God, I would never thought you would be a comedian.
Really?
Yeah,
Who said that to you?
Bitch. I'm kind of bitch. Yeah.
I don't ever see you as a bitch, though. I feel like you're a really strong lady. That's what I feel like.
But you know, that's
But that's us, yeah.
and that is the definition of
a bitch.
Yeah. Strength makes you that. So
yes.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it? Because you're doing it with Real STL News, who we all love.
And I love that. That is a great group of guys.
Yeah, love
them.
They
doing phenomenal work. I love them. I have to shout them out. What's up, Kim? Our day. All of y'all, just, you know, I'm not going to leave nobody out, but I'm not going to shout everybody out. But I'm going to say, I love you guys. You're doing phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. Phenomenal. I'm just in awe of them.
Yes,
Every day.
Too.
Every day I'm in awe of them. Just, they're great. They're great guys.
They're really awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you get
bigger
to be
and bigger.
Yeah, you're part of the team now,
I know.
though. Yes.
I am a real STLian.
Yeah, you are. You are. So you grew up here, though, didn't you?
I
Born
did.
and raised? Yes.
I did. I was born and raised on the north side of St. Louis. I've been there I was there ever since up until high school. And then with high school, I went to the south side.
Yeah.
And fell in love with, I went to Roosevelt, fell in love with the mixing pot on the south side, how different and diverse it was. And I stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I stayed. Really, to be honest, what it was after high school, I was looking for my first apartment. And the apartments, I guess it was a lot of well-to-do white people over there. So the apartments, like, from the outside, it's like a regular apartment. And you go in, it's like, wow, this is really, really nice in here for $600.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, okay, I'm over here.
Yeah,
and I just started meeting friends and meeting people and hanging out and doing stuff. And then next thing I know, it was 10 years.
Wow.
I've been over there 10 years.
See, and I'm not from here, but you were one of the first people I met doing comedy, and I'm so happy to have you here. Like I said, you look great. You know,
Thank you.
Oh,
too.
Oh, well,
the
thank
messy
you.
pony has got it going on.
Oh, well, so this is dry shampoo. For
Lord.
those of you who are listening on audio, I know you feel my pain. And then Yolanda's her hair is rocking right now.
Look, this is my Black History Month Sister Soldier look. I rock it sometimes.
Yes.
I love it. It's very powerful.
Yes, I love it.
Many cannot wear it.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me about the dry shampoo.
So
I never used it before.
Oh my gosh. Well, I started using it because my friend She worked at Sephora, and I was like, yeah, like when you're running around, because, I've got a day job, I'm doing podcasting, I'm doing comedy, I'm doing everything. And I just, when you're in the middle of like, I don't know, especially during the summer, all you're doing is sweating and everything. So I just spray my hair up. Just because sometimes you don't, it's not that I'm not showering or anything like that. It's just
I just want to know what it is. Like, so it's like shampoo, but just a dry version where it freshens your hair?
Yeah, it's just like using hairspray on your hair, just but it's dry shampoo. Okay. So, and mine doesn't have a scent to it. So just because I just was like, I don't know if I want to get like too crazy, because I also wear like perfume and I do all these things, but you look great.
Busy lady.
Bougie.
You've been busy though for a long time.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You always
so
show
do
me
you.
cool places too.
Aw.
You do.
Well, speaking of being busy, how we met was definitely a busy time. We were both doing comedy, and how I think I officially met you before when you were doing stuff at the Laugh Lounge.
Right.
You were hosting on Monday nights.
I was.
Yes.
I was hosting the Laugh Lounge with Eric Rivers. We had Funny First Mondays every first of the month.
Yes.
And it was great. Eric was great. Everybody was great. It was a lot of fun. Month after month, the crowd got bigger and bigger. Eric is a very entertaining guy. And actually, I miss Eric. Eric is my brother in comedy, and we did a lot of stuff together. He would always push me, like, I'd be like, whatever, forget comedy. He like, look, sis, you got to get up and get this stuff done. We going to do this. I'm finna do this and do that. So he really was a intricate part in my comedy career, which is just beginning. This is my second phase of my comedy career. But in the very first part, he was very instrumental in pushing me to keep going, because I wanted to quit 1,000 times.
Really?
I did.
Yeah. I think that's really awesome that you admitted that too, because I feel like, we obviously love comedy, right? But I think it's sometimes hard for people to admit, like, even though you love it, it's just like with any artistic endeavor, sometimes you get a little intimidated and sometimes you do want to quit. And there are people like Eric or mentors, which is so important to have mentors now that I think about it, that encourage you and say, hey, maybe something was a little rough, but if you keep doing it, if you keep trying, I don't know. I'm not to get too deep here. Maybe it's the rosé. But I think that's really great. And I'm so glad you did it, because otherwise I wouldn't have met you. But off the comedy train, you and I had a mutual friend. I remember I got invited to a party, and I didn't know exactly what it was until I got there, but it was a pure romance party.
Oh,
and it was... and Yolanda
because
came.
We actually met before then, but we didn't connect.
Yes.
But we were both on the same page at the Pure Romance party. It was like, I was too mad I didn't win the dildo, and actually the party was over for me after that. I was like, I'm here, but I really wanted that.
Yeah, she
vibrator.
Was like, I didn't win the dildo.
I was like, I really wanted that, man. I didn't win it, and the party was pretty much over. But Christine. I haven't spoken to her in a while. She's gonna get married, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't spoken to her in a while either, but she's doing great stuff.
Yeah, she's a beautiful person as well.
Right? Great person. And she also had great snacks that night, because I remember you brought wine and you're like, let's go in the back and like have some snacks.
I was on the whiskey then. I was like, where's the whiskey? I like to drink. Well, I come from a long line of drinkers. I wouldn't call them alcoholics, because if they were very functioning alcoholics, so I didn't ever see them rolling around on the ground, piss poor and drunk. But my family does like to partake in the alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, no, I like whiskey too. I'm just taking the last couple of episodes I've had whiskey, but I changed it up because I know we had champagne at yours, so I was like, we'll have rosé on this one for Valentine's Day when this is coming out.
Don't change it up for me. If it works, just keep it rolling.
I know, you're like, just keep it rolling.
Just keep it moving.
Well, like I said, we have it. We're having a good time, but you, like I said, you just have such a welcoming spirit, and it was just funny that I always think about that. I'm like, Yolanda and I connected at a dildo party.
We did. That's that Scorpio stuff.
Yes.
Because you in November, I'm October, so...
It's just who we are.
I mean, hey. It's who we are on the exterior. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are like free sexual spirits, but only with... But see, this is the misconception. Like, people just... oh my God, you a Scorpio, so you're a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a freak with who I really like, who I really care about, and who I really love. Not with you, or you. Just who I like. Like,
Yes.
that's the misconception. It's like weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like guys come up to you and they're like, hey, and you're just like,
Right.
no. I'm not really even into Zodiac stuff a lot, so it's always a
Really?
little like, what throws me off when like, I mean, I guess this is like a little judgy, but when like guys come up to you, like I've had that happen at a bar, and I think that's where I kind of channel like that Biggie Smalls energy where he's just like, you attract him with your line, what's your name, what's your sign, and then he gets that line, I just creep up from behind or whatever, and I'm
Right.
like, that's what I need. I need somebody to ask me what my interests are,
Really?
and who
I
I'd
do
be
too.
with.
But no, the new generation of guys, older and younger, since this is the Valentine's edition,
Yes.
I don't know. I'm okay. I'm to the point where I'm really not dating right now.
That's okay.
I'm just having fun. I don't know what that means, but I'm just having fun. Like,
Yeah.
literally, if I go on a date, I go on a date. If I meet somebody, I meet somebody. If I don't, I don't. I don't care. Whatever. If we go on a date and we're not compatible, we can still be cool. Like, I'm just literally an ocean right now. I'm just going with the flow.
Like that, but see, I really respect that because that's how I was for Jimmy and I have been together for 2.5 years, but before that, I was single for 5 years.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but Yolanda, I didn't really want to date anybody. Like, I don't know. I think like for me, I think what's weird about me is I never like had that dream of getting married, if that makes sense. Like I never was like, oh my God, I want to get married and I want to meet somebody and I'm going to get married by 21 and have
Right.
kids. And here's the thing. I have friends who have done that. I love them to death. That was their dream, but it just was never mine. I always wanted to like do big things and, travel and do stuff. And, I'm human. I still meet people and people I like along the way.
Right.
But at the same
That was a nice way of putting it.
yeah, like
Yeah, I like that.
you're just like, well, because if you connect with somebody, you're like, well, I want to kind of explore that connection, right? Like, I don't want to be a total bitch here, and be like, hey, like, screw you, But I don't know. I just have never felt that way, and I think that's why it's hard for me sometimes. Even now, like. Sometimes I'll meet, like Jimmy and I will meet people and I think they're just like, like, when are you guys getting married? Like, when are you doing this? And like, we're just kind of like having fun.
Right.
Like, we're just
Just go with the flow.
Exactly.
I think labels really kind of put a damper on things because I just feel like if you happy, do whatever makes you happy, period.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And people just so busy trying to impress people who don't matter. Like you want to go and have a big wedding. Why? I mean, if that's your thing, by all means, do it. But if you're doing it to invite 1,000 people that you don't, 1,000 fake friends,
Right.
why are you doing it? Just go to the Justice of Peace.
Right.
Get it over with.
Right.
Have a party. And be done with it.
I agree. See, look at you. You've got this like deep side in you.
I'm super, girl, you don't want to know how deep I am.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
super deep. A little too deep.
That happens.
Scary deep.
Sometimes I do that
Not
too,
like
though.
voodoo deep,
Oh.
but deep. Not like voodoo deep.
Oh, I
don't-
wasn't thinking that,
I don't
don't
put
worry.
it in a pot and stir it up. But kind of deep.
Kind of deep. I love
Yeah.
it though, because like you probably have like a lot of I was to say you probably like being in comedy sometimes. How am I supposed to like phrase this? Like sometimes I think that's what it is that it all starts from somewhere. Like you kind of have to start from that deep so that way you can kind of like I heard on a podcast once. Again, not to get too deep here, but it was like kind of being in control of your own humor and your own life experiences. Do you kind of feel that way with your style of comedy, or how do you kind of feel that you want to be perceived, or you feel like how do you feel received? I guess what would your style be for the?
I don't know. I have been
comedy.
told my comedy is pretty aggressive. It's because it comes from life experiences, and I just speak on them, and it's very therapeutic.
Yes.
So instead of going crazy because I just got dumped for no reason, I just go on stage and I'll talk about, really?
Yeah.
So you just dumped me. So, yeah, I mean, and it's just crazy. A lot of men laugh harder at my comedy than women.
Really?
Because they know they do stupid stuff. Yeah. Like, I think that men know the stupid stuff that they do sometimes, and they just do it to see if they can do it. And a lot of women are so desperate to be in a relationship or whatever it is that they allow these things done, you know, because I have more guy friends than girlfriends, like female friends, and I listen to them talk.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I listen to them talk. I have female friends, but we, you know, I think more like a guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was raised around a lot of guys. I wasn't really raised around a lot of women. It was women in my family, but they more, my family is from Alabama, so they more country women, cook and clean. So I got that side of me. But then I was also raised on the north side of St. Louis. I went to school over there. I grew up over there, and I went through my adolescent years over there. So it's like, and then when I grew up, I started selling drugs. I was just being honest.
Yeah.
And it was like, now I'm in the street. Like, I got a couple of kids. I have to take care of them. And the guys just said, see you later. We can't be together. I don't want to be a part of none of this.
Yeah.
So they, you know, he just left or whatever, and I was stuck to raise the kids. So I started selling a little drugs, and I don't know. I was like the female Nina Brown a little bit. I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then not to my own horn, but my conscience was not in it. Like, I was too nice. My friend was like, all your friends dolphins. Like, not to be harsh, but it's like I can't be nice and sell drugs. So it just really wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of bagged up out of it slowly and chose a different route.
But the thing is, I feel like sometimes you kind of have to go through those life experiences to choose that route. Like, that's how I kind of feel about me. I feel like when I still had like a good handle on things in my late teens, early 20s, but I look back on who I was maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I'm definitely not the same person. I'm still Molly. I'm still nice. Like, everybody that meets me is like, oh my God, you were so nice in college.
Right.
But I feel like now, I didn't really put up with bullshit then, but I really don't now. There's just something in life where, and I feel like anybody listening or watching feels that way, when you deal with difficult men or partners, or you just with family or any difficult things, that you have to, because sometimes I'm hard on myself too if I go through a difficult time, and like, you know, you're like, oh, why did I do that? Like, I'm too nice. Like, it's just, but at the same time, you grow from that, and it's such a learning experience.
Man,
and you turn it into comedy.
Yeah, I really went through it all. My life can be a book. Like, my life can literally be a book. Like, my life could be a book. My son wrote a song about me.
Is he a songwriter or?
Well, he's a rapper. I'm not gonna say he's not serious with it, but what I will say is, I think he uses it as his therapy. Like I use comedy.
Sorry,
like I use comedy or whatever. But he wrote a song and it blew my mind. I was like, the song starts off, my mother was a drug dealer. My daddy was a dope fiend.
Wow.
I was like,
whoa.
And then, but I mean,
it was life.
But I've always taught my kids to just be true to yourself. Like I didn't feel like, oh my God, you got to take that out, because I never really cared about what people thought about my particular struggle, because it's my particular struggle, and it wasn't a struggle that I wanted. It was like, who wants a kid's father that's addicted to drugs?
Right.
But it's so crazy, because from that, I started selling drugs, and now I'm selling drugs to my baby daddy.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Retarded. And I was like, oh my God, like one day, it's almost like one day you just sit back and say, is this what I really want to do? Like, is this what I really want? This crazy.
But isn't it kind of crazy? You kind of have like an out-of-body experience almost when you're looking at yourself, and you're just like, it happens. You wake up one day and you're just like, this isn't me. This isn't what I want. But what I really respect about you is that you took all of that, and you always, like how you said, you always like, what I like about you always advertise. You're always somebody that tells the truth. You're always somebody that's very honest. And you took that and you took it to somewhere where there is a lot of honesty that you can display, and you can do comedy.
There's just so much positivity. I'm not used to it. So much positive reinforcement. I'm about to blow up.
You're just like,
my head's about to pop
here.
off.
And now you're doing Keeping It Real with Real STL comedians.
I am. And it's an homage to all the comedians in St. Louis that don't really get a lot of shine or respect. And it's so many comedians in St. Louis.
Isn't it crazy how there's so many, because I'm sure you've learned this by being a host too, is there's so many people that are popping out of the woodwork. And I was going to ask you, have you had, other than me, obviously, has there been anybody in specific? You've been doing a lot of good interviews with people. Like you had Reggie Kush Edwards.
Yes.
You had Charles Pruitt. He always says that I can call him Black Charles. But
Right.
yeah. And then you had Javon Bibbs. You know, I guess, people always ask, like, what's the transition from being a podcast guest into being a host? Do you kind of feel like there's been a transition for you? Do you kind of feel like that felt easy for you?
I don't know. I think it feels kind of easy because people have always been able to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's something about me that make people comfortable and telling me all kind of stuff. Cause like I'm about to start a podcast called Miss Me After Dark because it's gonna be real sultry and real. It's an extension of my comedy. What can I say?
Oh, Candy Burris better watch out.
It will be. I will be inviting the dildo party now on my podcast. Like seriously, because I have to get that out of me.
Yes.
And on stage, it's like, oh my God, you're so awkward. No church is gonna book you. I'm like, not looking for a church to book me. But
I haven't had a church even book me. So.
Right. They say that's where the money is in church organizations and stuff like that. But I mean, my lane is my lane, and I've learned to stay in it. But to answer your question, like. I think it was easy for me because people always talk to me and tell me stuff that I wouldn't believe. Like sometimes I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, with a straight face. But in my mind, I'm like, did he really just say that? Like, did he really just say that he likes? Wow. But I was like, it's okay. I mean, to each his own, whatever floats your boat. So it was actually easier than doing comedy sometimes.
It's a fun, I actually love hosting a podcast just because you get to meet all these different people. And you do it do you always do it in the arcade where you and I did ours?
No, we've been to Shade. Sometimes we do it on location. We've been to different places, and we're actually about to start live streaming at different events. So I will definitely be popping out and live streaming at your comedy show, Real STL Comedians.
See, and I actually I've enjoyed a lot of them, but I liked your interview with Precious J. I thought that was a lot of fun.
What did you like about it?
So what I just kind of liked about it was there was a lot of girl power to it. And like Precious J, who we've actually had on this podcast, she's just like a strong female too. And didn't she kind of kick off the whole thing? Was she the first interview or?
No, actually Lady Ree was.
Oh.
She was the first interview.
I love Lady Ree. I'm sad I missed this.
Yeah, we reran her interview actually because it was like a dope interview. She is.
Yes.
She is hilarious.
Oh, I love her.
And I love her. Like, she's funny. She's always on. And she was just a great interview.
Yeah.
She was just a great interview. It was like the perfect night. The arch was in the background, and it was a beautiful night. It was just like, this is kindred. Like, this is supposed to be what this is supposed to be. And that was our first interview.
Oh.
So we like 20 interviews in now.
Yeah, so as I said, you've been doing a lot. I'm sad I missed that one because I'm friends with her too. I'm going to have to look this up for sure.
Are you friends on Real STL Comedians, the page?
Yeah. I'll just look it up. I'll just look it up on there. What was so funny, remember when I messaged you guys and it was like interview with Molly Ambergy and the stream was there, but when you went on there, it was Willie C's video.
Really?
And so Ade fixed it, but it was so funny. Okay. I was like, equality, me and Willie C, baby.
Yeah, that was a good interview too, because I love him as well. Because what I'm gonna say about Willie C, really?
Yeah. No, I haven't met him yet. He's like, I share his stuff on Slick and everything, but I've never and Slick means St. Louis Independent Comedy, but I've never met him, so I hope to meet him someday. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Will C is another interesting person. He's a go-getter. I respect his hustle. He first came to my attention when he was just doing shows. I'm like, who is this person? And he just puts it together. he fill it up, he do the show, move on to the next show.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been that guy. Like, and the thing about real STL comedians, I learned so much about people that I didn't know. It's more of a one-on-one, more in-depth like this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, wow, like Two Jennings, he was on the show. He was freaking military police. I wouldn't have never figured that. Like, really, military police, well, that explains a lot about you. That's why you won't chill out. Like, that explains a lot. That's why you get on my nerves so bad, because you're the po-po. Okay? It's just like, it's a really dope platform, I believe. And I believe we're going to do great things for this city. And now we have people reaching out from other cities. Like, can I be, like, I just had a guy, D So Funny. He from Arkansas.
Oh, yes. I've heard of him.
And he was like, yeah, he goes back and forth from Arkansas to Memphis, and he drove 5 hours to come be on our show. Yeah.
Aww.
I was like, wait a minute now, we might be doing a little something up in here. We might be doing a little something up in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it. I love to give people that platform. Because our numbers do what we do all right.
You do. I've gotten some followers because of our interview. Because it was like, some people were like, hey, saw you on Yolanda's show, Real STL Comedians. And it was kind of cool to do something. Because, you know, normally I'm interviewing people. So it was kind of cool to have you interview me.
This is super cool. It's kind of, I feel the heat up under. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I understand the process. But don't play yourself short, because I got a couple of followers from you.
Oh, really?
It was a guy in my inbox. He was like a pilot or something. I'm like, okay, Molly with the white pilot friends. He wanted him a little Cuomo baby. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing, sir? Yes, sir.
Oh my God, a pilot. Go me. Okay, yes.
He might have been a catfish, but I don't know. I don't know. He might have been a catfish.
So you were cracking me up because I was listening. So obviously before, and I'm sure Yolanda feels the same way when you're like getting to know people. Sometimes I do, even though I know Yolanda, sometimes like if people are doing things, like I was like, oh, I had to remind myself about her creations. Again, the Miss Me creations. And then, you know, Laugh Lounge and everything. But what's so funny, Sam Lyons was interviewing you on Impolite Company.
Right.
And you were
I think
talking
that's one of my
about
worst
being
interviews.
catfished. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you were great.
Yeah, I was catfished.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
horrifying.
You got to run this by me now, because I'm a huge fan. So Valentine's Day, this is not your average Valentine's Day episode. I am a huge fan of the show Catfish.
Okay.
I loved
You never
the
been
movie.
catfished?
No, but here's the thing. I'm a super sleuth. I'm terrible. Like what I don't do right, Yolanda, is when, obviously this is like pre-Jimmy, but before Jimmy, he's going to love this episode. When I would go on, I never wanted to do online dating, because I was like, it's just like what you said, when you're having fun. But the best story was my first online date I ever went to. It was this guy. So on Bumble, if they really want to talk to you, they can like pursue you. They're like, hey, I forget how it works, but anybody listening in this to use Bumble will understand what I'm talking about. Like, I really want to talk to you. And I was kind of, me being Molly, was like, well, that's kind of nice. Like, somebody pursuing me. Right.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
A naive Scorpio.
So,
I've never met one.
I'm like, oh, well, here we are. I'm only passionate about, like, you know, real issues, but, and like when I'm done wrong, obviously. But
yes.
Yeah. I'm like, if somebody, like, if I'm good to you and like you cross me,
now, that's a real Scorpio trait.
then you're
right
like, wait a minute, I was good to you and you still did me wrong. So this is what this guy. So I met him in person. He was exactly like he was in the picture. He drove up from, I don't even know where this is, but he drove up from St. Genevieve, and he came from work.
Red flag, St. Genevieve.
See, and I, being from Cincinnati, didn't know.
Nothing against St. Genevieve, but hey,
Yeah.
I think what's in St. Genevieve, a prison or something?
Oh my.
I think not. I don't want to talk to nobody from St. Genevieve.
It was like, he came, I used to live in Shaw neighborhood, and he came to this, like, I wanted to be in Publix. We had, we went to this little pub that was there, and he was super nice on the date. And I was like, oh.
Did he look like his picture?
Yeah, he looked like his picture. He was fine. But the problem is, it's just like what we talked about. When he was behind text, I was seeing a concert with my friend, and he was like, I didn't even know him that well, and I'm sorry if this line has worked on other people, but he was like, yeah, that's too bad you're going to that concert tonight because I was really looking forward to some birthday sex tonight, right? So I replied back being like, it's your birthday? I don't even know you, so I wouldn't even have known that. Like what did this guy think?
He should have been on, what's that, back door? He should have been somewhere.
It was just very weird. And I remember he pursued me for like 3 weeks because I told him, I was like, you're gross. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, is it even your birthday? Like, I just don't know you. I have no idea. Right. Would have it mattered? Did this line work on somebody? I don't know. So later on, like, I'm like, who did this work on? It was just very weird. So he kept being like, hey girl, like, let's go out again. And I ghosted him. I ghosted him to the T.
Well, my story was like I never really got to meet him. We were literally online texting back and forth, and he seemed cool. His Facebook picture was amazing.
Oh,
he was so
those
fine.
are always the ones that are the catfishes.
And I was like, listen, I'm not about to play with you. Let's video chat. So I was like, this is going to make it a break. So the video chat was, well, I'll have to see him. I mean, he was trying to lay it on thick. Oh, I dig well. The stories just got more
and you're
extravagant.
Like, sir.
I'm like, what kind of work do you do? Well, I travel back and forth out of town. I am an engineer. We dig wells for. I was like, oh my God. You dig wells to find oil where.
Right.
Like, it was just like, it just got more and more. And then nothing against Jamaicans, but when I talked to him actually on the phone, he had a Jamaican accent. I said, you will not be moving your family to Missouri on my dime or my marriage license. I was just, am I racist?
No.
I wasn't here for it. So when we video chatted, he had the phone was falling, and I got a glimpse of who he was, and he was purely hideous. He was like really big, and like, I mean, and it's nothing against big people because I'm not small, but my thing is just represent your
who
true
you
self.
are. Yeah.
And we probably could have been friends, but
right. Like maybe I would have actually, well, that's the thing. Like if you actually get to know a person, you might. So that's why I bring that up because I loved the show, the movie Catfish, and I love the show. And like my boyfriend makes fun of me because he's just like, it's the same plot, Molly, like every time. And I'm like, I know, but I find it so interesting because mostly in the beginning. I can't speak for now because I haven't seen the new season, but
it's still on.
Yeah. Oh, it's still on. Yeah. I just find it interesting why some people feel like they have to pretend.
Oh, it's definitely low
like there's
self-esteem.
Something. Yeah, it's such low self-esteem.
It's really a sad situation.
It really is. Yeah.
What can you do?
Right.
All I'm saying is, be yourself. That's why I really don't care what people think. It's like, no, I'm not perfect. I don't have the perfect job, life, body, teeth. I don't care.
You have really nice teeth, though.
I'm amazing. I am an amazing person. Get to know me.
Yes.
Get to know me. Or maybe I don't want to get to know you because I have standards.
Right.
So.
Oh my God, that's going to be the promo clip. I have standards.
I have standards.
But isn't that funny that you start to get those more as time goes on? Like, I feel like, you're like in the beginning, you're like, I'm just trying to like figure it out because you're learning. But now you have such standards.
Because I did not always have them.
Right? Same here.
Oh my God.
You're like,
I had standards, but they were really low.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say for myself, I was never with a guy who didn't treat me nice, even though he did. Okay, I'm gonna just say it financially.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't financially treat me nice or was there for me when I really needed, because I was raising kids alone, so that was definitely a must. But maybe, some guys, when they treat you nice financially, they don't treat you so nice personally. Yeah. So that was my problem. So
yeah,
I've been in a few relationships with they were nice, nasty, like they're nice. And I'm going to say this, womanizers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just put it in a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Narcissistic womanizers.
Yeah.
So that's like, not only are you treating me wrong and you manipulate the situation, but you've also just don't have any respect for women as a whole, but you know what women like. You know what women do. You know how to please women.
Well, that's because it becomes a game at a certain point. Yeah.
And so I became, I'm not narcissistic. I just said the word, not.
We're having this rosé. It's just.
Thanks, Mom. Nah.
Thanks, Mom.
But I might be a manizer.
A manizer? Oh, so you like flipped the story around.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, it just came with life.
It's just like it's almost like a mechanism to protect me from being hurt. So now it's almost like an abuser, he becomes the abusee, an abusee that becomes the abuser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because I like it.
Yeah. You kind of like, but the thing is, I think you shouldn't be too hard on yourself because I feel like having standards and like speaking, I don't know. I feel like, you do have to stick up for yourself at some point.
Yeah.
Like even me being and I'm in a healthy relationship, but I still am like, here's what I want out of life. And like, this is where I'm at. And like, even though Jimmy and I are very much on the same page, it never hurts. And this goes for him as well too. It doesn't hurt to be like, hey, like, let's do a check-in. Like I wrote a play about this. I have like a section about it. Yeah. Oh, did you not know that? Yeah. So I wrote a play. You can listen to it on this podcast. It's called Lady Warrior. My friend Kara was in it. I had it there was another gal named Rachel Bailey who's also very talented. She was in it for the Slightly Askew Theater Ensemble. They do an emerging arts festival, and they did my play. That was like kind of the first installment of it. And then I did it again with my dear friend Kara Barisi, who I love. We do she's been in all my shows and all the ones that I've produced, and I always I don't know, there's just, when you just have a connection, like, I'm sure you feel the same when you're booking a show, you're like, I need this person and this, like, Eric, like, that's how Kara is to me. And I'm not trying to quote myself when I say this. I'm saying this because that play was written off of journal entries that I had. Oh. And it talks about that, where you're just like, you're going through life, and you see other people, kind of succeeding or being in a relationship or doing something. And it's never that you're necessarily jealous. You're just like, well, what are they doing? Yeah, that's the line. Me? It's like, why not me?
Yeah,
like,
what about me?
Yeah. And it's just, that's what I'm saying is, I would be careful about being too hard on yourself, even though I know you're being honest, but I'm just defending you as a friend to being biased, But it's you do that check-in, like a 6-month check-in, and being like, hey, like, that's what we talk about in the show, is like, are you and I on the same page? Are we doing well? And then what I put in it was, sometimes you're happy and you do. And then sometimes you're like, you're not. And it's very weird. What people don't necessarily want to talk about is kind of like that transition where it's like, then you pretend like you never saw that person again. And it's a very weird feeling.
I don't know. I'm in a growth process, so I'm growing. So I just know that I'm growing toward where I need to be in a relationship, because when I wanted it, I was completely not ready.
Yeah.
And then I've been in a relationship with guys, and they were like, you cheated on me. I'm like, when?
Yeah. Oh, I've had that too.
Like, when did I cheat on you?
And you're like, you're crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, I never cheated, because I can't cheat. If I'm telling you it's a problem and you don't address it, and I tell you and I tell you and I tell you and I tell you, you don't address it, that means I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be miserable. How was that cheating?
Yeah.
Like, I think communication now in my life is clear communication. Yeah. That's why, like, I can sit and be 100% honest. And I don't care what you think. Either you're going to adhere to that honesty or you're going to push it away. And I respect either option. I respect either option. But what I'm not going to do is have a lack of communication. We're going to sit down and say, hey, listen to me, and I will shut up, because that's what a lot of women don't do. Like, a lot of women talk a lot. Oh my God. Hey. Not saying, I know you talk a lot, Molly, but I'm saying, like, women talk so much that you can't hear what the man is saying. Like, you can't hear him. And men they've learned to just sit in it. Yeah. So when you sitting in it and you just like, whatever, I'm just gonna let her talk. But then in your mind, you contemplating some other stuff you're gonna do. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna sit down and talk about it. We're not on the same page. We know we're not on the same page. Either we're going to get on the same page or we're going to understand that we'll never be on the same page. And I respect that.
Yes, I am.
I respect that.
This is why we get along. Cheers. I respect that too.
That.
You just have to be like, listen, I think that's the other issue.
Molly, when you tap that glass, that's what you do when you're taking a shot.
So, well, that's what you do. So, like, in Italian, it's good luck.
Oh,
so in the Italian culture,
so
you can do like a double salute, and then you do
salute.
Yeah. See, oh, look at you. But I didn't know you did that when you were taking a shot too. So also when we take a shot at some point, when we do the shot with the wine or whatever you were saying, I'm going to do a double tap with that as well.
We can always do a double tap because we can definitely use a salute.
We could definitely use some good luck. Yes.
Salute. I'm half Italian now.
Yes, I love it. But see, that's what I love is like cultures combining. That's awesome. I'm so excited about this.
We need a big plate of spaghetti.
Yeah, we do. We need that. There was like they said you could pair this rosé with like a wine and cheese tray or something. And I was like, I should have brought that, you know?
Yummy.
We're having like a little Galentine's.
Yummy.
For those of you who are watching the YouTube, I'm in a faux fur vest and the sweater. And this one's got her sweatshirt on.
Is roaring.
Oh my God, I love it. It's not real at all, but it's like, I'm like, you know, I said earlier, it's like I see all these like famous celebrities wearing them, and I'm like, I need to start wearing one.
Yeah,
and then you got St. Louis versus everybody.
Yeah, this is St. Louis brand. She rocking these out.
Who's that? Who's the designer?
You can go on Instagram and put it in. It's Alan something. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I have these in a bunch of different colors.
I'll have to get one. I like it. That's cool.
This is what happens when it brought around my car.
Oh, that's
right.
Don't
tell nobody.
I like that we got the sparkle going on.
Anyway, Valentine's. What do you think about that?
So I have never had a hateful relationship with Valentine's Day, only because I'm a fan of the color red. I love the color red.
You are.
I mean, obviously, as you can say. Did my phone
Red,
just beep? Oh, everybody's just texted me, of course, during the show. But anyway, I'm like, why are people? Everybody knows I'm recording.
Even your phone case is red.
Yeah, even it is true. She's not wrong. But yeah, you know what I was just thinking about today? This is going to be so nerdy. But when I was younger, at my school, you could read over the PA system. So I was in the 5th grade, and you took turns like doing announcements. So it was like my day to do the announcement.
That's big time.
So it was like, you know, when you're in the 5th grade, you're like, I get to read. And it was like the whole middle school gets to hear me. And I remembered it was Valentine's Day, and my teacher gave me the paper about Saint Valentine, and like just the innocent of that time, like how much that meant to me, reading that to everybody. Like, I think it's just, and I'm not even that religious of a person.
So tell me the story, because the story I got was crazy.
Wait, what was your story?
Tell me the story of Saint Valentine.
So I don't remember the whole thing. We're gonna have to look it up. But
okay, because I thought it was something the opposite of Valentine's Day.
Like, I bet you it was too.
Yeah,
Watch me be like,
crazy.
This was a really great thing, and then I'm gonna have to get this out. But hold on, let me see here. Valentine.
Yeah, it was never a bad thing for me, but I just thought people took it way too serious. Like a lot of friends I had when we were younger, like in our 20s, to keep them from feeling alone, they would go buy a lot of stuff, take pictures of it, and say it was, I treat myself for Valentine's. I'm like, it's not that serious. Like,
but
it's just a day.
Isn't every day, if you're with somebody you care about, and I know some people are going to disagree, no matter who it is, like my mom has been my Valentine for like years. Like she always sends me a card, and it's from her and my dad, and they're like thinking of you. I don't know. I guess like Jimmy loves to celebrate it just because he's a nice person and he like wants to be a good, you know. But you know, like that part is very sweet. Like when I had my arm was broken 2 years ago, and I remember I went through a lot, and I was like, we don't have to do anything special. But what he did was he like put. So I have a beagle in Cincinnati. They were our family dog that I miss a lot. So I was like, oh, I miss my beagle. So he bought me a stuffed beagle to kind of replace Polly, which was sweet. So I was like, oh, that's really nice.
Polly and Molly, really?
So I adopted her from the Humanities Society. Or the Humane Society, excuse me.
And you named her Polly.
Yeah, Polly and Molly. So Saint Valentine was a clergyman, either a priest or a bishop in the Roman Empire, who was ministered to persecuted Christians. Let's see here. He was martyred and his body buried in a Christian cemetery. This is actually getting super depressing. What did I read in middle school?
Listen, I'm telling you, the true story of Valentine's Day is the total opposite of what someone made it to be, of a freaking baby flying around shooting arrows in people's booties.
Right.
And like, oh, you're in love. No, it's really a bad story.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is a long story on social media.
But okay, you got the intro. It's like a real bad story. It's not good at all.
So it's a patron day. So if anybody feels like doing that research, go right ahead.
It's like a bad day.
But I will say on our level, I don't know, like I've had Galentine's Day with my girlfriends. I used to do that every year. A gallon of wine. So yeah, I would have my girlfriends over. We have some brunch, do some wine cute. And stuff. Polly would be there. Like it was just, I don't know. It was just a different. I don't know. For me, I just don't put too much emphasis on it. I feel like some people put almost too much.
They do.
And it's just like with anything, and this doesn't just go over Valentine's Day, but holidays, Christmas, everything. Don't like stress yourself out,
Yeah, a lot of women are very sad on Valentine's Day if they're not with someone.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
And I was about to say, I was single for 5 years and had 5 single Valentine's Days.
I don't know, I've been single longer than that. Now, I've had long-term situationships.
Yeah.
But I've been single longer than that. Like, I've not had and comedy is partially to blame for that. Because it's like, they always think, when I meet somebody, it's like, and don't get on stage and talk about me. Well,
you're not that interesting to talk about, so.
Pop. As long as you're acting good, you will get positive conversation. But when you start, like, it's hard to date me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
it's hard to date me.
I hate when people say that, because I always say that. I'm like, you're not that interesting to talk about, first of all. What made you think that you were a story? And number two, if you are a story, it's probably something dumb. But I'm not going to talk about you. You're not that famous that people are going to know that I'm talking about you. But anyway, go ahead.
And then I will not mention your name no matter what I say. Mm-hmm. It's a generalization. But when you say that, it's almost like you're not gonna act right. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think the person I'm supposed to be with might not even be in St. Louis.
It's possible. My friend.
I think I'm supposed to move.
So remember, we were gonna take that trip to Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. Let's do it, and then we're gonna find you the love of your life. We're gonna be walking around. Maybe, you never know. And then I can just go visit you in Holland. I'd be okay with that.
Oh wow, that'd be a major stretch. But you know what? You never know what God has for you, so I don't know.
Oh man, and then maybe you'll fall in love with the pilot on the way.
It will be somebody open-minded. There's a lot of closed-minded people in Missouri.
Yeah.
So I'm very open-minded. Like, I like to do all kind of stuff. As a black girl, jumping out of planes is something I want to do. Not hiking. I'm
not really into that either.
Yeah, but I do love the mountains, like just different stuff. Stuff.
Well, let's do some different stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what we should focus on. It's like Valentine's Day should be every day for us. We should love ourselves by doing different stuff. And then maybe if we meet a hot pilot or a hot Amsterdam man along the way, it'll be okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
Hot pilot, not a crazy one.
Oh, yeah, just hot and normal. If you're hot and crazy. I'm really scared to date
now, too, because of that. Like, dating for women has gotten so dangerous that between Lifetime and real life and Facebook and Instagram and social media, it makes it scary. So but I might be a product of that as well.
That's okay, but it's okay to be nervous. But I bet you can always meet some people who are feeling the same, because I bet you whoever might be watching this or listening to this probably is listening to you, and they're like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And like, there are people out there who it just gets crazier, especially with online stuff, especially like there's always that. Like
that was the first and last time. I've never been an online dater.
My sister.
I'm more of a face-to-face type of person.
Yeah, I think that's why we get a lot. I'm a little old-fashioned in that regard, where I prefer it. Definitely. Like, some people can just like swipe through it. I just had too much anxiety. Right. I would try it.
Yeah,
I did it.
Too.
But it just, what I'll ask you though is, with comedy and stuff, you've chosen comedy, you've made it your path. Do you feel like that's something you're going to move forward with, since we were touching on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that I'm more of I do love comedy because it's very therapeutic. It allows me to, it's my therapy. It allows me to get things out of me that with the unbiased, like it's a relationship. Like the crowd is my therapy or therapist, and I am talking to them and they're relating to me because, and it's a back and forth and it gives me life. But I don't know, I can never stop doing that.
Yeah.
But I do really want to focus on the other avenues, other than just the stage. Like, the stage is definitely a place where it keeps calling me.
Yeah, and I know it's harder with the pandemic right now.
It's like, it just keeps calling me, man.
Yeah.
I can't leave it alone. Like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you definitely have to have a love for it because the work outweighs the reward, and I have to be able to live. I have to be able to live. Unless I'm going to live in my car. I haven't reached that level of comedy where I want to go somewhere and live out my car. Like, I like to take bubble baths and stuff. So
that's okay.
I'm not really ready to dedicate that part of my life to
That's
comedy.
all right. Everybody's different, though, I feel like, But I only asked that because we were talking about, like, things that scare us. And I was like, speaking of that, going back to comedy and what you were doing, but now that you've got real STL comedians, we talked about the stage a little bit right now because of the pandemic. We can't do too much right that. But where do you see real STL comedians moving? I know you said you have people driving in and stuff, but overall, where do you see it moving forward from here?
I just feel like we're not going to give up on it, period. So it cannot do anything else other than be successful. Like, we will not stop doing interviews. We will not stop bringing people in. We will not stop shining a light on the comedians in our area and in surrounding areas. We will not stop doing that. So if you put your heart and soul into something, it has to succeed.
Yeah.
It will succeed. So we will be victorious.
Yes, victorious.
We will be victorious. Yes.
Hey.
We will be victorious. We will be successful.
And that's the thing.
We will.
Like, Valentine's Day, all of that, you could think of relationships wherever you're at. But what I love about this was we talked about our love for ourselves, our standards for ourselves, our love for our craft, and just like where we feel like we're going to move forward, which the last question I'll ask you really quickly before we close out of here. For people who are watching this or listening to this, first of all, thank you for casually tuning in.
No problem.
Yeah, and thank you, Yolanda, for coming on. What advice, I always ask this to every guest, what advice would you give to somebody who is maybe trying to pursue comedy or is maybe interested in how you do like your show and everything with Real STL News? What advice would you give them?
I would say, follow your intuition. Never give up. Don't listen to the naysayers and the haters and just block it out. Take it with a grain of salt and keep moving forward. Keep pushing. Don't stop. The money is there. You won't get the money in the beginning. You might not get the money in the first 5 years.
Yeah, that's true.
But just know that if you stay focused and keep pushing, you will get a breakthrough.
Yeah.
If it's something you want to do, it's not beautiful. It's the underbelly. It's the underbelly. You have to be a special person to even pursue that line of work.
Yeah.
You have to be a special person. So if you really want to do it, just do it. Like Nike.
Yes.
No pun. Nike sponsorship coming up.
I know, right? When that Nike... What's so funny, not funny, I always say it. What's so funny is... like the last few episodes have been the same thing. Like, just do it. Just go for it. Just do it. Like I think that's the best note to end on is just do it. Well, thank you. I'm going to cheers you again.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
I love it. Oh yeah. Salute. Salute.
Salute. Here, we got it.
I gotta say it with a little salute.
And you gotta teach me all the tequila because I am not a good at tequila.
All you have to do is just put on Lil Jon and the East Side Boys shots. Shot. Everybody, just like her sweatshirt.
So,
I love
Yolanda,
it.
where can we find you? For people who are now officially a fan of Yolanda after listening to this, which you should be, where can we find you? All the things.
Okay, every Thursday at 9, Real STL Comedians on a Facebook Live, Real STL News platform. On IG, Yolanda Mizzunderstood Brown. Facebook, Yolanda Mizzunderstood Brown.
Yes, I love
And
it.
coming soon, Miss Me After Dark,
Yes.
which I will be posting, and you will want to be a part of that. You could talk about sex. You a Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's
yeah,
talk.
it'll be sex, relationships. I might have I don't know. It's just about people, real people
Yeah.
doing real things, and real
like
people. They have stories to tell, and I'm gonna tap into it. I might be the next Wendy Williams. I don't know.
Hey, you never know.
Without I don't know. Some people
Candy
might try to
Coated
fight me.
Nights. There you go.
Yeah, Candy. Her story's hard, but I'm sorry. Shout out to Candy. If you watching this, she might be. You never know.
I doubt it, but I do love Candy. I loved Escape, so
I never doubt anything.
I never doubt. Hey, you know what?
You'll
If Candy
be
is
the
watching,
internet, you
love
never know who's watching.
You know, that's true. You never know who's watching.
Yeah, voyeurism.
Oh, right.
Like, ooh.
Who's out there? And speaking of, for those of you who have been watching or listening to this audio, please remember to casually subscribe to the Casually Molly podcast. You can watch, or as you saw, if you're watching the YouTube, there's our Instagram handle. Please give us a follow. We'd love for you to follow us with all the videos, all the interviews, just everything that you can possibly imagine. We can't wait to share some upcoming partnerships we have with you, but we're just really excited. There's just a lot casually on the horizon. I can't wait to share. It's just like when people do the Facebook, they're like, big things happening. Tune in.
Big things popping.
I mean, I honestly just can't announce some things because they still have to be like slightly solidified. So that really just stay tuned. But now that our interview is over, I always say, what are you going to casually do now?
Probably casually go to the hole in wall and casually drink shots. Maybe meet somebody that I might casually take advantage of.
Oh. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to casually take advantage of some pasta because I've been waiting for it all day.
Really? Where's the pasta? Why I'm running out the door? I'll stay
gosh.
away from the pasta.
Oh, it's the Italian in me. I love the pasta.
I love pasta. COVID has made me gain about 40 pounds.
It's all right.
Seriously.
So 40 pounds gained in COVID,
I
everybody.
know, but with that 40 pounds came a booty. I was like, oh, let me find out I'm Megan Thee Stallion back there. Not quite, though.
I mean, hey, booties
Not
are
quite.
in. I don't really have one, but who knows?
I like the new song Body, though. Body, yaddy, yaddy, because, it's more of what I got to work with.
I love
The top
that.
portion instead of the bottom.
Hey,
It's been
body,
fun.
yaddy, yaddy. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
It's been fun. I love you guys. Mwah. Spirit finger.
Aw.